All right, so if you're an international student in Germany, you definitely know the feeling. You're just staring at a blank email, trying to figure out the perfect German words to use for your professor. Well, today we're going to walk through a typical semester, one email at a time, so you can master the 5 most important messages you'll probably ever have to send. Oh, yeah, we've all been there. You see that blinking cursor and the anxiety just creeps in. Am I being polite enough? Is this professional? Is my grammar even right? It can feel pretty intimidating, especially when you're dealing with the formalities of German universities. But don't you worry, we are about to make this whole process a lot less scary. So here's the plan. Instead of just throwing a boring list of templates at you, we're actually going to follow a student's journey, from those first week questions all the way to the final thank you note. This way, you'll see how these emails actually work in real life, which makes them way easier to remember and, actually use. Okay, let's get into it. Picture this. It's week 1. You're trying to make sense of all your new classes and schedules, and of course, a question for your professor pops into your head. This is your very first email to them. It's your digital first impression. So yeah, we want to make sure it's a good one. So, what is the right way to ask? I mean, you don't want to seem demanding, and you definitely don't want to sound like you haven't even bothered to read the syllabus, right? The key here is to be direct, polite, and short. Let's take a look at how our example student, Lisa, pulls it off. Okay, let's break this down. You can see the German on the left and the English translation on the right. First thing to notice is the subject line. That is so important. Frage zum Kursplan, or question about the course schedule. Super clear. Then you have the formal greeting. We'll talk more about that in a sec. And the question itself? It's just one simple sentence. When will the next lecture take place? That's it. It's polite, it gets straight to the point, and it totally respects the professor's time.
And this greeting, honestly, this might be the most crucial part of the whole email. In German academia, formality is absolutely everything. It's a huge cultural thing. You always want to start with a formal phrase like Guten Tag, and then the professor's full title and last name, just like Herr Professor Muller. It instantly sets a tone of respect.
And you know what the best part is? This simple 3-step structure is basically your universal key to success. You've got your formal greeting, a really clear and short reason for writing, and then a polite closing. If you can master this basic framework, you can write almost any academic email you need with total confidence. It's a game changer.
Okay, let's jump forward a few weeks into the semester. It happens to the best of us. You wake up feeling sick and you just can't make it to class. Letting your professor know isn't just a polite thing to do. In Germany, it's pretty much an expectation.
So what's the right way to handle this one? The goal is to be really clear and respectful, but without sharing, way too much information. Let's see how our next student, Kareem, writes his apology.
Look how Kareem's email gets right to it. I couldn't attend class yesterday because I was sick. Then he adds, thank you for your understanding. It's simple, it's professional, and it gives the professor all the information they need and nothing they don't.
And this little phrase right here is a perfect example of the German preference for being direct. You don't need to write a long, complicated story about how you were feeling. A simple statement of fact, because I was sick, is all you need. It's honest, and it shows you respect that the professor doesn't have time to read a novel. Okay, let's move on. We're now in the middle of the semester. You've handed in a big assignment, maybe your first Hausarbeit, and now you're in that phase of anxiously waiting for your grade, or at least some feedback. But first, a really quick vocabulary lesson, because this word is essential. A Hausarbeit isn't just regular homework. Think of it as a major term paper or a big research essay. Knowing this word is going to be crucial when you're talking about your coursework. So you're waiting. How do you ask for an update without seeming impatient or pushy? It's kind of a delicate balance, but there is definitely a polite way to handle it. Let's see how Elena approaches this. Now, Elena's approach here is just a masterclass in being polite. After she reminds the professor which paper she's talking about, she asks this really simple, low-pressure question. Could you please let me know if everything is okay? It's such a gentle way to follow up, isn't it? This phrase right here is your secret weapon anytime you're asking for something. Vielen Dank im Voraus basically says, I recognize that I'm asking you to take time out of your busy day to help me. It's incredibly polite and shows you appreciate their help before they've even had a chance to give it. Let's be real for a second. It happens. Your computer crashes, there's an emergency. Sometimes you just can't get an assignment in on time. But how you handle it can make all the difference in the world.
Take a look at what Jonas does. He doesn't write a long, dramatic story. He's very direct. I couldn't submit the homework on time. And then he immediately follows up with a solution. I am sending it today. The whole focus is on taking action and fixing the problem.
And this is the key phrase that really makes the whole email work. Entschuldigen Sie bitte die Verspätung. It's a formal, direct apology. It shows you're taking responsibility, but you're doing it respectfully and without any drama. All right, we're getting close to the end of the semester. Let's say a professor really went out of their way to help you with a project. Sending a simple thank you email is a small thing, but trust me, it goes a very long way. And this is just a wonderful example of how to show you're grateful. Notice how Sophia is specific. She says, "Thank you for your help with my project." Then she makes it even more personal by adding, "Your explanations were very helpful." That's so much more powerful than a generic thanks because it proves you are actually listening. And we're going to end where all of these emails end, with the closing. Mit freundlichen Grüßen is pretty much the gold standard for any formal email in German. It's like saying kind regards or sincerely, and it's the perfect professional way to sign off every single time. So let's quickly recap the golden rules we've picked up. Number 1, always use the formal C, never do. 2, address professors by their full title. 3, keep your reason for writing super clear and brief. 4, make sure you have a specific subject line. And finally, number 5, always end with a polite closing, like our new favorite phrase, mit freundlichen Grüßen. So there you have it. That's the basic framework for the most common and most important emails you'll write as a student in Germany. You've seen how to be formal without sounding all stiff and how to be direct without being rude. So the only question left is, what are you going to write about next? Maybe you're asking about some cool research topic or setting up your first office hours. Whatever it is, you've now got the tools to do it with confidence.